Last month, we did a tour of their foaming department. This month, we're going to do a tour of our finishing department. So we do restorations on anything from really the late 50s through the late 90s, a little bit in the early 2000s. Last month, we watched our vacuum forming process. And what we didn't really tap into was our repairs process. After vacuum forming, there's a lot of excess material. So we've got vinyl that needs to be trimmed and tucked underneath. And we have technicians who have been doing this for decades that know how to do this just right. During the trimming and tucking process, right out of the vacuum former, we get this webbing. Because I guarantee none of the OEMs ever thought we'd be reverse engineering dashes. Because originally there were large bucks that were vacuum formed, and then they would be vacuum formed inside a cavity, and then foam would be injection molded into it. So it was a very different process than what we do now. We use probably the most authentic process for vacuum forming for these dashes, using actual OEM dash vinyl. The high density foams that we're using is even better than what originally existed back when these were originally created. But what ends up happening is this webbing process. So if you can come in close here, you'll see how the vinyl pinches right here on the edges. So during the trimming and tucking process, we got to trim that away. We got to tuck this behind. And what might be left is that little pinched mark. What the guys meticulously do is they go and trim that off so it's the thinnest gap possible. It's going to leave a little bit of a gap, and I'll show you what that looks like over here. When we trim out and there's that gap left there, what the guys in the repair department are doing is they're filling that in so it leaves a smooth texture here. So I know you can't feel that, but this is smooth right here, but that doesn't look good. Nobody wants to pull out a newly restored dash and see trim marks like that. So what the guys are then going to do is what we refer to as an invisible repair. So they smooth it out first, and then they're going to patch and add texture to it. So we've got all of these texture pads that has all the different grains and textures that we're able to vacuum form in. And once they get their special texture putty on there, they're going to go in and kind of texture it up and make it look really clean and smooth. So this is one of the more, this is one of the more complicated dashes that we do this on. So for instance, when we first pulled this out of the vacuum form with all that extra material, the draw doesn't really get into this area very well. So what we do is we actually preemptively trim that out. And that whole area had gaps like we were just seeing here. And the guys have gone through and they've textured it up. Once this comes out of paint, it looks brand spanking new. With the repair process, it's super important for us to make sure it just looks right. And this is the really meticulous part about what we do. Everything we do here is a lot high detail. This probably takes that to another level of detail where we're not just going to leave it a smooth texture. We're actually going in there and matching the textures up with different pads, going in there, making it look original all the way through. Trimming and repair is super, super important part to our process here. We get asked a lot like, hey, can we mix up different colors? Can we do reds, greens, whatever you need? If you want to come step here, it's going to be a little loud in our paint department here. You can see we're starting off with our first coat here on the underside, and painter is going to be working his way to the top here. So I wanted to make sure that you can kind of see the before and after of the painting vinyl dyeing process. We use those terms interchangeably, and basically what we're doing is we're vinyl dyeing after the vacuum forming process. So all of our dashes start black. So we even dust all of our dashes a little bit with a little bit of black, just to get it that nice flat black that the dashes originally had. And then sometimes guys also just painting a lot of other parts at the same time. So we'll leave a dash unpainted. Like if we're just going through the trimming and repairs process, we can leave it in this raw color, and it's a super paint friendly material. So if you're trying to get this just that right B5, B7 blue, that really difficult pearl white color, and you just need it to match with everything else, We typically would recommend leaving a dash unpainted and having that done locally with all the other parts, because painting can be such a finicky thing where if we're spraying 3 different phases for a pearl white and we're just doing it just a little bit differently than in the shop that you're working with, the hue is just going to come off just a little bit off. We always recommend having the same person in the same booth paint the parts, especially if the parts are going to be butting up a dash right next to a door panel or an upper door rail trim. As always, our professional recommendation is have parts painted together. So this is one of our fine detailing benches, and this is where we're at the very end of the project here, and we are just going through every little bolt, every little clip, every little screw. These were bead blasted. I don't know if you could see that in there. Major attention to detail here. These are the heavy detail guys. If our foaming department is the engine builders, these are the fine tuners. This is the tuner shop where you're going and just getting that extra RPM out of the engine. Not really a detailing thing, but just kind of something cool that we're working on. We have this custom VW dash that a customer sent in to us. So this is going to go into a VW Bug and heavily modified the metal to kind of incorporate this round gauge. They had a round gauge, but not like this. This is going to be something special for this car. So I just thought that was kind of cool. This is kind of an interesting project. This is out of an '88 Honda Civic we've been working on. And these panels have just been a beast to work on just because of the way that they're originally constructed. Again, Honda didn't ever think we were ever going to be working on cars in this way, and they didn't build these parts to be taken apart, rebuilt, put back together. So one of the things that we go through in our levels of expertise that we have here is like how to properly disassemble these parts and reassemble these parts. So let me flip this one over to the back side here. So we have to go through and kind of fix a lot of things that were just done a little weird, and we go through and take care of that kind of stuff. And we do hot welding here, we do staples, we do just about anything to take care of this stuff. Each job is gonna be a little different, so we kind of have to figure that out on every single one, and that just takes time. This is maybe the only set of late 80s Honda Civic panels that we've ever done this way. We actually did an entire interior kit for this vehicle, so it was a lot of figuring out for the first time what we needed to do for it.